everyone, this is CC's Art and Stuff, where I make art and stuff, and here we have a watercolor galaxies that I made today. Anyway, I'm using a technique called wet and wet. I guess that's what it's called, I don't even know. Anyway, what it is that you wet the paper, you take a brush and you wet the paper, and then you add in your watercolors, creates this kind of cloudy effect, and since the paper is wet, it's a lot easier for you to blend out the colors. So I'm using light colors and kind of building my colors from there. This is also the same technique you could use to make clouds. It's just, you know, obviously different. Instead of, well, you can use the same colors. Like, that right there looks like clouds to me. So, just add a house and a tree somewhere in the corner, and there you go. You got clouds. Anyway, right now I'm just building the colors in, and it doesn't really look like much, but once you see the final result, you'll see it looks like a galaxy. Once you put the stars in, it starts to look like a galaxy for the most part. Because when you start out, it looks like a whole big mess. But these are really easy to make. You just need to have the right kind of paper to do it. You don't necessarily need watercolor paper, because I do these all the time. You can see my Instagram is full of these kind of like galaxy type of paintings, and I make these all the time. Half the time I'm using either Bristol paper, I'm using $3 freaking Target paper. It's pretty easy to use. So, and it's all about just blending and figuring out where you want to put your colors in. It's always good to use a reference. The reference helps a lot for you to figure out what kind of galaxy you want. Inspiration, so to speak. Like everybody knows, you can go on Pinterest and look up galaxies, and you can find a bunch of pictures. This is another technique that I learned from watching YouTube videos. And pretty much you take the alcohol, or you take a sponge with alcohol, or a cotton ball in my case, and you dip it in the painting, and what that does is kind of eats away at the paint and creates this really cool effect. Same thing with the salt, only the salt didn't work out that well because I don't know why. I think it was the paper, but the salt, or maybe it was the paint, I don't know. Anyway, the salt didn't work out, but usually the salt is what creates also that kind of effect where it like takes away all the moisture, so you get like a grainy effect in the background. It gives it texture, so to speak. The alcohol kind of eats away at the paper, so you don't want to use a lot of it, just a little bit. I had to spritz it at some point to like give it a more cloudy effect, but you know, it disintegrated. My paper was so wet that everything I did was just like disintegrating. I also use this iridescent medium, I think. I forgot what it's called. It's from Winsor Newton. Some iridescent stuff that makes everything shiny. You can't tell at all. I tried to take pictures, I tried scanning this thing, and I could not for the life of me. Maybe I'll try again. You can't tell, but it's really pretty and glittery and stuff. You could probably use glitter if you want to do that. I also use black ink. I don't know why I did that. It looked fine before. I don't know. I think I wanted it more contrasty or more darker. Look at me. I should have used like a darker purple, even though it does kind of look purple because the Indian ink has a blue hue to it, blue undertone or purple undertone, which worked out, I guess. I should have just stuck with watercolor. Complicating things for myself. Anyway. Yeah, so a lot of this is just building colors. If you want certain parts to be brighter, you put brighter colors, and if you want things to be lighter, you put lighter colors. Here's my attempt at making stars, and since the paper was extremely wet, it kind of like soaked up all the white, which in the end it worked out for me because it gave it like a glowy effect. So I was like, okay, cool. But I ended up having to wait until it dries and then using a toothbrush to like make the stars. At some point I took two brushes and kind of hit them together to kind of give that effect, but as you can tell, you're gonna see in a few minutes that you can't tell what I just did. All of this was pointless right now. See? So I took a toothbrush with acrylic paint because the watercolor wasn't working. Watercolor was just soaked in the paper. And then I made stars. And I made different color stars. So yes, this is my galaxy. I hope you enjoy, and please like and subscribe for more. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Bye.